for the Get to the Point review. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Get to the Point review podcast. I'm your host, Kelly McKinney of Hohenheim Productions.
And I'm your other host, Josh Gibson of Fourth Wall Players.
And this week we are joined by a special guest, Larry Jones. How are we doing today, Larry?
Just fine. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Great.
Me and Larry have known each other for, I think like seven years now, right? Started on,
Yep, 7 or 8.
Yeah, Red Bottoms, right? Met on Red Bottoms. I was directing. Larry is an actor, a professional wrestler, and also has a career in law enforcement. And he's joining us here today. We're going to talk about Copshop 2021.
Or the lack of.
As well as getting into our 5 favorite police portrayals in film. But Larry, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about, when did you start acting? Or what came first, acting, wrestling, or law enforcement?
Originally, I would say the wrestling would have came first. I originally started training in 1990 with Dick the Bruiser, Mitsuru Arakawa, just prior to Bruiser passing away. And then once he did, Mitsu ended up coming down ill and wasn't able to train me any longer. And so I was out of it for many years. In the process of that, I decided that I enjoyed acting stuff when I was younger. My aunt worked for Channel 4, so I got to be on Sammy Terry and Cowboy Bob and Popeye and Janie, and I was one of the little kids that Janie would say, "So what's next, kids?" And we'd go, "Bugs Bunny," or whatever the next cartoon, whatever they told us to say. And then she would come back and ask, and we would say it. Sammy Terry would do the, "Oh, George, we have visitors." And I'd be one of the kids with the sheets on.
Yeah.
Ooh. So I really enjoyed doing that stuff. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to venture into doing some acting. And everybody just kind of rolled their eyes and said, yeah, okay. And
sounds about right.
Yeah, isn't that what everyone does when we say in the Midwest that we're getting into the entertainment industry? Yeah. Everyone just goes, "Oh, great, good luck with that. Yeah. Let me know when you're working at Staples." Yeah.
So
yes, at the Olive Garden. Yeah.
So I went to an audition for a Terrence Muncie Hell Walks the Earth, and ended up getting cast as the lead role in that. And so I had done that. I had done a Lincoln Tech, an Eli Lilly commercial. And in the midst of filming Hell Walks the Earth, I kind of fell into it and was a part of the Dark Knight and had a small speaking line in the Batman movie. I was up in Chicago, and so there's a scene where Aaron Eckhart walks by and I point up and yell, "Get down." And he jumps in the back of the ambulance. And so I got to do that, work with him and Aaron Eckhart and Gary Oldman. And
what that was that on Lake Street where they were filming that one?
That was up in the financial district.
Okay. Gotcha.
Downtown Chicago.
Right. Okay.
And after that, I did some stuff on ER and stuff on A&E's The Beast with Patrick Swayze, and some other independent movies and TV shows. And then later on in that field, back in when I turned, just after I turned 50, I was a friend of mine said, "Hey, I'm starting my own professional wrestling organization. Would you be interested in coming in and everything?" And I said, "Well, I'll have to try to find me another tag team partner, because my original one from back in 1990 had developed some health issues and wasn't able to do it." So I tracked down a tag team partner, and we went, and started doing some additional training, and we became what was originally going to be Bad Blood, the tag team.
Mhm.
And we wrestled for several different organizations, won several different tag team titles. We had appeared on Fox 59, Channel 8. At one point when we did a great meet and greet for Riley Hospital. And currently I have a different tag team partner, Harley Fairfax.
Mhm.
And she's one of the toughest female wrestlers going today. I very much expect her to wind up in AEW or WWE at some point. I'd be surprised if she doesn't.
Nice.
And we currently wrestle for MCIW, which is owned by the Hall of Fame wrestling legend Bobo Brazil Jr. And I wrestle for IPW, which is by a very seasoned vet, Pitbull. And done some stuff up in Detroit for Big Time International Wrestling, which is owned by Rudy, and some other organizations, but mainly it's MCIW is my home and IPW is my second home.
Nice.
Okay.
And so where does and when did law enforcement fall into that?
Well, I started doing a form of law enforcement. I worked as a security guard when I was still in high school.
Mhm.
I was 17 and worked downtown when they was converting the Lockerbie Glove Company from a old abandoned factory into the condos that they currently are. And I worked security up until I became 21 for Blue Line Security. And then I became a special deputy for Blue Line Security. And shortly after that, I went on the Marion County Sheriff's Department and worked there for 12 years. And then I went on the department that I'm currently on.
Okay. Nice. And that's what could have you where if you need to leave the podcast today, it'd be because of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine. I haven't heard anything today. So, I mean, sometimes you never know when stuff happens, but, you know, it is what it is, and I'll stay on as long as I can stay on.
Okay.
Well, and so what's your favorite part about being in law enforcement? And does that play a factor into your picks today?
My favorite part of being on law enforcement is helping people that need help and sometimes can't always help themselves. I also enjoy matching my intelligence and training and common sense and my inquisitive nosiness into digging in investigations and catching the bad guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Well, with Copshop, I know that I'm the only one
The
who's
only
seen
one
it.
that's seen it.
Yeah. So I wonder. But we did all read the review.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get our little with Copshop. All right. 2021.
Mm-hmm.
This movie did a good job at making me want to play with my gun.
Oh.
And I don't mean that sexually.
Yeah.
I
Didn't think so.
Oh, because I
Thank
have
goodness.
I have a single action revolver, and the main character, that's what she has. She's a rookie cop, and rather than having, police detail
Mm-hmm.
a firearm, she has a single action revolver.
Right.
And it made me want to play with my gun.
Mhm.
But I also fell asleep literally
Well,
during the first act.
oh my.
During the first act,
Do they like spend a lot of time in the jail cells just like
kind
talking
of
to each other?
Well, they spend a lot of time giving away the ending in the beginning.
Is it
by
like
showing
obvious
you who all
though,
the-
or is it just stuff that you and I
they show
pick
you.
up?
No, they show you
Okay.
who all the bad guys are.
All right.
Yet the review calls it twist endings.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
There are no plot twists.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. If you've seen a movie before, you knew what was going to happen. So I fell asleep during the first act, but I did enjoy the movie.
And then it got good.
But then it got good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it'll take us right into the review by Owen Gleiberman from Variety, which thanks for the review. And since I'm the only one who saw the movie, I'll just say that I couldn't agree more with a review as far as how it was entertaining and fun, yet cheese whiz Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like it was definitely like, Quentin Tarantino has these movies that, again, fall into like every genre.
Right.
There's elements of every genre in a Quentin Tarantino
He tries
movie.
to kind of combine them a little bit.
And this is clearly just an action movie.
Right.
So cheese whiz Tarantino, it's also all of the, action in a Quentin Tarantino movie, the blood, the death, everything else is dramatized in an artistic fashion.
Yes.
Bad guys die bloody. That's where the big blood explosions come from. And when our hero gets shot, it's just a little bit of blood coming from their, seeping from their wound, and it feels more personal and dangerous.
Right.
We don't have any of that cleverness in this movie. Also, they try to make the, if you take a look at, I think its name is Carahan, right? Is the director?
Oh, yeah.
The director. He's known for Smoking Aces. So if you take a look at that movie, you know what to expect from this one. It's very much a lot the same. So we've got these quirky characters with a lot of personality that are still two-dimensional, right? There's no real character arc that happens.
Right.
The main character doesn't learn anything about herself, although Alexis Louder was amazing in the film.
Right.
Gerard Butler was amazing in the film. They were all great. The cast was great.
It's just kind of a messy script.
It's not even a messy script. It's just that you know what you're getting into. Nothing was surprising.
Right.
The one heart-pounding moment that Owen Gleiberman talks about in the beginning of this review, definitely the best part of the film. Like, my heart was pounding during that scene. Other than that, you knew what was going to happen.
Right.
It's kind of like clockwork with most action movies over and over
Paint
again.
by numbers.
Paint by numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No twist ending. So Larry, what did you think about the review? Did it make you want to see the movie more? Did it give anything away?
It'll make me, I'll want to watch it. I'm sorry that I missed it when I had the opportunity.
Me too, man.
It was in theaters for a very short time.
Yeah. Just work and other obligations that I've got just prevented me from seeing the 2-day release, I believe. Of it.
Right. Yes.
The 2-day release.
But at some point, I would imagine that it will be shown on Netflix or Prime Video when Netflix time.
Max or whatever. Right. Yeah.
I'll catch it then and watch it. And if we ever go back to this in a later review, I'll be able to give full
details, right,
of the show. Yeah, I mean, I definitely am interested in watching it. I just have not, didn't have the opportunity. So,
well, I will say from watching the film, one thing that surprised me about the dialogue was with Alexis Louder's character. Everything she says in the first, for pretty much up until the third act, is exactly how you imagine a rookie cop talking. Like it sounds like she's fresh out of training.
Yeah.
Where it's super by the book. The way she phrases questions, how she's trying to be, I'm your friend. She teaches, she treats Teddy like he's a little kid and it's his first time in jail.
Okay.
Like, I'm here to help you. I'm your friend. The only way that you're going to get out of this is if you tell me the whole thing. And he just spills his guts. And it's like, oh, come on. Yeah. Like, he's been holding on to it for a whole act. But yeah, so that surprised me. And I was, that's what sucks about when you guys not having seen.
I know. I was excited
that one thing right there.
If you guys remember really what it is, reaction to the trailer, which was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was excited to see this movie. I actually really wanted to see this movie. So.
Well, what did you think of the review?
So my get to the point review on Owen Gleiberman's review, is it wasn't too opinionated one way or another for review. He just kind of summed up a couple of scenes, and the conclusion was exactly what I expected. So stay away from my job, Owen. That's my review.
Stay away from my job. Okay, nice. All right. Well, and that's, I guess, what we have to say about Copshop.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have
2021.
anything. I want Gerard Butler to have another successful film. That's the last I got.
And this is the thing, is that Gerard Butler did really well in it.
Right.
If anything, it'll remind Hollywood that Gerard Butler's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's super charismatic.
Yeah.
And whatever, he doesn't phone anything in. Like, he doesn't.
Well.
Okay, I'm
Wasn't
not
that
okay.
Bounty Hunter movie?
Maybe anything was too strong of
A
a
little
word.
broad of a concept.
Yeah. Well, I think at that point he was
At
just
some point, you got to have lunch, right?
right. At some point, you gotta have lunch. Oh boy. And speaking of which, okay, well let's break into
Speaking of lunch.
let's break into the main part of this
Okay.
with our top 5 favorite police portrayals in film.
Sounds great. You want me to go first?
Yeah, actually, I think we should let Larry go first. Larry, do you want to start us off with your top 5 list? What's your
I would say, and this is definitely with the times of the way the world is now, this probably wouldn't be the way a police officer, he'd probably be in a lot of trouble, but I would say my favorite movie police officer has been Dirty Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dirty
Okay.
Harry. Oh, yeah. But man, Clint Eastwood, he's classic, though. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a really good one. All right. Nice.
I would say, as far as being streetwise, I would say it'd probably be a toss up between, can't think of it. It was Axel something in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. That was on my honorable mentions, I guess.
On your honorable mentions. Oh, yeah.
And
yeah. Streetwise.
Bad Boys. The characters that they played in Bad Boys, they were quite streetwise and everything. And it seems like the portrayals of police officers in movies, they're either extremely streetwise, they're extremely Dirty Harry, get him at all cost, or they're portrayed as in Training Day, where they're good cops, but they've went to the dark side for their own benefit.
Yeah. Well, and that brings us right into Training Day,
Okay.
2001. And for me, it's a toss up between the two characters because I love them both. It's like I said that it's a gritty, dark buddy cop comedy where they're not really buddies.
It's not really a comedy.
And it's not even a comedy. No, it's not a comedy. Because it's just a great movie. It's like one of my favorite ones, just overall. Like, because you love both characters just because of their, I don't know, their charisma.
Yeah, their charisma. Yeah.
And not only that, but the situations that they were taken into during the film was really great.
Right.
Did you have Training Day on
I
yours?
did not have Training Day,
Okay.
but I did have another one he had mentioned, Bad Boys 2. One of the few times the sequel is better than the original. Smith and Lawrence pull off the buddy cop routine brilliantly, as their skill sets and personalities contrast so well. The supporting cast step it up a notch from the last one for one wild ride.
Nice. All right.
Especially the spinny shot with the helicopter going over. That
The
was cool.
spinny shot. That's the technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah. In film, that's what we say. We're like, set up for the spinny shot. All right. Nice. Okay, Larry, what's your next pick? Your number 2.
Gosh, I kind of covered several of them.
Yeah, that's like he did like 3 or 4 of them.
I would say, and this really isn't a movie per se. I would say a true portrayal of police officers came on the small screen with Hill Street Blues and what was the other one? Hill Street Blues and oh my goodness, that had Sipowicz and
Oh, you're talking about NYPD Blue?
NYPD Blue.
Nice. I haven't seen either one of those. I have not seen either one of those.
Yeah, my parents.
Seen one of the TV shows?
My parents watched.
I haven't seen that. I mean, I'm familiar with NYPD
Yeah.
Blue. I hadn't
Zach
never seen
Morris
it, though.
ends up in the cast. Did you know
Oh,
that?
No, I didn't. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Nice. And so with okay, so because those are like real portrayals of police, basically. Like they get closest to home as to how the job really is. Gotcha.
Yeah. The job is the one thing that they did miss on movies, TV shows, is the amount of paperwork that we have to do for everything.
I wish I could have the next.
Reports, everything. Everything's paperwork.
Well, you can have the next one.
Speaking of everything being paperwork, my next Get to the Point review is on Hot Fuzz. Overly trained Nicholas Angel gets transferred to a country town in England, only to discover a nefarious secret. The movie pokes fun at most major cop movie tropes, only to subvert expectation at the end by having a 20-minute shootout complete with explosions, and afterwards, an extra 5 minutes of them just doing all the paperwork.
and them just doing all the paperwork. That is awesome. Yeah. And just I'm an honest person. I was probably really high when I watched Hot Fuzz. So I remember the police. I didn't remember the paperwork joke.
It's such a great montage at the end. They're taking all the mugshots of everybody, and then like all the officers are just like writing. There's like stacks of papers everywhere, and they're like joking with each other. It was awesome.
Well, from my list, what I probably have is the closest thing to a real portrayal of police is Steve Zahn in Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We said Steve Zahn, and
you were picturing national
second.
security.
Yeah.
No. It's great. As much as I actually love that movie, no, Dallas Buyers Club, and it's because it's with Steve Zahn. You're really reminded that police are people.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go, because I mean, it's established that they have a relationship. They grew up in a small town together, so they know each other. And now he's a cop, and of course, people who are criminals by nature don't like cops, but can't help but have the pass with him. And he sucker punches him, and rather than taking him in, he takes him home because he knows he's drunk and trying to avoid getting.
That sounds a lot like the entire show Justified, honestly.
Yeah. Well, no, it's interesting. I started watching Justified, and then Heidi started watching Longmire.
Okay.
Which is completely different.
Which is completely different.
But
it still has Timothy Oliphant, doesn't it?
It does. That's why we ended up going to that on accident.
Yeah, that's funny.
But with Dallas Buyers Club, everyone in this movie reminds you that they can do drama to the utmost extent.
Right.
Also, how beautiful is it that it's a true story? That is just amazing. To see his character arc, and by his I mean Matthew McConaughey's character.
Right, I got you.
Yeah, his character arc is just amazing in that, and nothing speaks more to the times, as far as culturally, than Dallas Buyers Club. Really great movie, and if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. And what's next on your list, Larry?
This was far from being, again, back to the small screen. This was far from being a true vision of what police officers was, but it was a childhood favorite of mine, Starsky and Hutch.
Oh yeah, Starsky and Hutch.
And I still want one of those cars.
Those are beasts, man. That's a really nice muscle car. I'm more of a sedan and 4-door guy myself. But yes, if I was gonna get something souped up, it would be a muscle car from like the 50s or 60s.
Right. Something. Yeah, those are the best ones.
Those are awesome. Awesome. Nice pick. Do you have a somewhat comedy to pull?
I do actually.
Okay, go ahead.
So my next get to the point review, speaking of buddy cop comedies, is The Other Guys.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Hilarious buddy cop team up, made better by the contrast of Wahlberg and Farrell.
Huge contrast.
Michael Keaton plays a hilarious captain that constantly quotes TLC songs. And Steve Coogan is brilliant as the captured criminal with a target on his back. I think what I really like about what speaks to me about that movie is it's one of the few movies that's popular where Will Ferrell plays more the straight man.
Yeah.
Like he's not like the man child in it.
And Mark Wahlberg is the
Mark
comedic
Wahlberg,
relief.
Which is not at all what I expected. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so awesome.
It really is brilliant. Yeah, it really is brilliant. And that's coming from someone who is very hit or miss with Will Ferrell.
Right, because he always
him.
plays the man child.
Right, I either hate him or love him.
Which is fine on SNL, but I don't want to watch a whole bunch of 2-hour movies of him doing it.
No, right.
Yeah.
Well, then that brings me to Super Troopers from
there you go.
2001. Yeah. We're going to talk about a cop stoner movie, Right Meow.
Right, meow.
AKA, do you know anyone who didn't quote this movie when it came out? Like, I think everyone quoted Super Troopers.
Mhm.
And it's just funny that this is one of the movies that it was really hard not to put on my 420 special, right? But I was saving it.
Yeah, you were
I was saving it for
You knew in the
when we do a
future.
police portrayals episode. Super Troopers is going to be one of my
There
favorites.
you go.
Yeah, because I think that one's pretty much the only comedy on my list too.
Yeah, I'm all out of comedies.
Yeah. So, what do you got for number 4, Larry?
Oh man, you're really pressing.
Well, why don't you tell us what about Bad Boys that you enjoyed so much?
I think there was definitely a lot of action. It seemed like, especially the first one and the second one, that was back before, and I'm sorry if he hears this, he'll probably be pissed, that Will Smith didn't start thinking more of himself than
Yeah.
the movies. I think the fame kind of got to his head and some of the stuff. And
we got to put a disclaimer on there for when Will Smith listens to our podcast because he's an avid fan.
Yeah, because he's an avid fan. So we'll make sure that he knows we still love him.
yeah, no harm, no foul, Will. But hey,
It's a hard truth from a loving place.
Yeah, I mean,
it just is. It just is. Well, all right. What's your next one?
Oh my gosh. So my next one is 16 Blocks from 2006. Yeah, I wanted to go with one that like not a lot of people would probably be familiar with.
Oh, I don't know that.
My get to the point review on it is Bruce Willis plays an over-the-hill detective tasked with babysitting/transporting a high-profile witness to testify against corrupt police officers.
Okay.
He quickly has to shake off the rust and call upon all his John McCain-ness to fight off the rogue element and get the witness where he needs on time. And I'm actually kind of confused because I've seen both endings now, but I think in the original ending, he actually ends up dying getting the guy there. But it's a very well-told story of like his redemption, because kind of his thing was like he was an alcoholic and, he was kind of the office joke sort of thing. And so that's why they stuck him with the duty so that they could just, steal the guy away. And
it would just be like, oh, another failure from
right.
this job.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And for whatever reason, that was the day he was like, no more, I thought it was a really great film.
that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, I only had one honorable mention. It was because I told myself I had to fit these two, like Steve Zahn and another one that I haven't gotten to yet to fit in.
Well, I really tried hard. I really wanted to put Die Hard on here, but I was like, I'm sure I've done it somewhere. And even if I hadn't, I'm going to do it again.
Right. So Larry, that's a question I have. So in police precincts, is there usually a guy that's just kind of always the mess up? Or do we keep him out of the field so that there aren't any mess ups?
Every department has their officers that march to their own beat, let's say sometimes.
Okay.
Right.
And sometimes the supervisors tend to try to avoid putting them in situations that the media is going to put them on the highlight reel of the 6 o'clock news.
Sure,
Right,
sure,
right,
sure.
right.
Well, and I mean, you know, and I didn't mean so much in a serious aspect where it's like, oh, you can't put this guy on the street or he'll like pull his gun on someone. More so like someone that just gets stuck with the paperwork, or is that more of like a hazing for new like rookie cops thing?
And that's just a movie portrayal because everybody is responsible
For their
for
own.
their own thing. Because, okay, let's say if the three of us are working together and I'm more of the center point of the case than you guys, I can't necessarily say, here, do my paperwork for me,
Right.
because you guys haven't been where I've been, seen what I've seen, or done what I've done.
Right.
So for you guys to properly fill out the paperwork, you guys are lying. So when it goes to court,
it can get
it's going to
thrown
get
out.
thrown
Right.
out
Yeah,
if the
exactly.
defense finds out that Larry did the investigation, but Kelly wrote the report. And what was Kelly doing during the investigation?
It was
Well,
literally, it was
he
very.
was hanging out at Dunkin' Donuts, spilling jelly on his uniform. You know, so everybody's really responsible for their own reports. And
Right.
when they portray it in the movies, any police officer is going to go, yeah, that would be nice if we could shovel it off on somebody
Yeah.
else.
I mean,
But
and
you can't.
Yeah.
you get that with pretty much all genres too. I mean,
Yeah.
everything I see,
Doctors
like
don't
science
like medical
fiction wise,
dramas.
if I watch it with my sister, who's a microbiologist, she'll start picking it apart. My brother's an engineer, so he'll start picking apart certain, like he's an aeronautical engineer, so he'll start picking apart certain like
the physics
like
on that's
the
wrong.
the physics are wrong.
Yeah. That's just like doctors.
So
don't
I
like
stopped watching
medical
things with them.
dramas.
No,
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, you know, people don't like watching movies with me because I'm like, oh, that's bad framing, or you know,
I know,
oh,
right?
that, or that was cheesy.
I have to
That
watch
was a
myself.
retake. Yeah, like oh man.
I have to watch myself with my wife too when we do that.
Yeah, we've been at movies and I'll catch something in the background that's there on one take
Yeah.
and not there on the second
Right.
take. And I'm like,
Continuity.
Those drive me
honey,
nuts.
did
drive
you
me
just
nuts.
see that cup was sitting there
Yeah.
on this take and now it's not there? And my wife's like, what mean? And I'm like, forget it, honey. You missed it. I can't rewind.
Yeah, right. Oh,
Just
God.
let it go.
Right, yeah, no, and that's it's funny when we notice stuff like that because
Yeah.
we've been trained to watch for continuity while we're on set.
But
Yeah.
it's just so hard to believe they've got like 8,000 people there like watching stuff, and I don't understand how that something like that slips through the cracks.
But at the same time, okay, you say when they've got 8,000. Okay, yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
not
you
us.
said I'm about to say
You-
not us
You
because
were one person
you're
camera
one
crew.
person
So I
doing
get
all of
that.
the things. Yes,
Like
yes.
if something falls through the crack and you're doing it, fine, whatever.
It's like, oh yeah, he was also doing this and this and this
Yeah.
and this. Plus, he was on screen.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I guess my number 4 would be The Fast and Furious 2001
Mhm.
because, and so this one was one that if I hadn't put this one on here, what would have been on here would have been Assault on Precinct 13
Oh, I forgot about
because
should've done
I
that.
genuinely love that movie. It got awful reviews.
Assault or Fast and Furious.
No, Assault on Precinct 13.
I love that. Oh my god, I watched it on my birthday.
I would have that would have been on this list,
Mhm.
but I love Paul Walker. So I was like, I'm gonna find something that he was a cop in. Well, Fast and Furious. So what to summarize it, I said that it's a cautionary tale about women and career choice.
Mhm.
AKA if you love cars, don't become a cop. Because that's kind of what conflicted. Love cars and family. And he started out a cop. He didn't
I thought it
end
was-
the movie as a
I
cop.
was about to say, I thought
Yeah.
it was more that he like let the guy go.
He did, and that cost him.
I don't think they cared that he
his
liked
career,
cars.
and then he was a fugitive,
Yeah.
running from the law,
Um,
aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a cautionary.
I will say, in all fairness, it did start a mega massive franchise.
an awful
That well, it doesn't matter. They're
in my
making
opinion,
money, aren't they?
I guess.
I mean, that's what they care about. Obviously, they're not writing.
You could say the
Fast
same
and
thing about
Furious.
politics.
I can and I will.
Who cares? They're making money, right?
Well, I mean, that's how they look at it.
That is how they look at it. So yeah, the Fast and Furious, because I love Paul Walker.
The point is entertain
Rest in
people,
peace.
and if people are being entertained, then that
It
that's
is.
a success.
Yes.
I'm not
At-
entertained by
At
it.
this point, I'm not. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
but-
But I
Yeah,
was for the
it's-
first like 3.
Really, Tokyo Drift?
Not Tokyo Drift.
Okay,
No, I'm not counting Tokyo
oh,
Drift.
that was number 3.
I know that was number 3.
We're just ignoring it entirely.
Right. Yeah. But I really liked the first one. I really liked Too Fast, Too Furious. And I even enjoyed it when he was back as an FBI agent,
Mhm.
you know, for like those 2 in there.
The thing is, I like the
one after
concept
other.
of it, of having like a running. I don't want to say it's a shared universe because it's all the same series, but
Right.
you know, you have the running thing, and you can have characters come in and out. If Ludacris is gone for 4 movies and comes back, it's not something that you question. I kind of like that. Like that, they used to do that a lot more, like in the 30s when like movies were more like serial. They're more like
Well,
they were more
and-
like series, but they were like 40 to an hour long, 40 minutes an hour long.
Well,
you know?
we had this weird thing where people actually worked around schedules where they didn't just like go with someone else. It's like, oh no, we want to use.
Yeah.
This is a bad example. Fred Durst for this movie.
Fred Durst.
So we'll wait until he gets back from China in 6 months, and then we'll film it in Italy.
Where did Fred Durst come
I
from?
have no idea.
I mean, I can imagine him he probably is in one of the movies.
You know,
I don't think they
let's
changed
hope
it.
not. Let's hope not.
I did it for the nookie. Oh,
You
anyway.
did it with the Nicky. Okay. Larry, and what would be your last one on your list? Favorite police portrayal?
Well, you was talking about comedies, and I happened to think of this one, and it is far from being a true cop portrayal,
You know, you're gonna talk
but
about.
Jim Carrey's "Be Myself"
Oh
and,
no.
Did Ivory? Oh yeah, you forget that he's a state trooper in that,
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
right.
was gonna go with too. I thought he was gonna go with Police Academy.
That was the first thing that came to my Laura's head. She was like, all I can think about is Police Academy movies.
Right,
I was
right.
like, oh yeah.
Well, there's 6 of them. You could have fit it.
Yeah, well, there we go. We could have had 5 and like, you know, and then number 6 as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
but yeah, but yeah, it was far from anything that a true police officer would do in any circumstance.
yeah.
You just don't shoot a cow and keep shooting it because don't die. But it was I found it to be an entertaining
Mhm.
movie. So
Yeah, and then didn't that have to that also in that movie they also tackled the whole thing with horses as a police officer, right? Isn't that the one that had the joke about the, you know, where they killed a horse, a mounted cop's horse, and
Maybe. I mean, that sounds right. I don't remember that at all.
maybe I'm thinking.
I don't remember that.
No, okay. Well, listeners, let us know, what movie am I thinking
Yeah,
of?
what movie are we thinking
where they killed a horse that was a mounted officer's ride essentially,
Mhm.
and the guy got life in prison or something for it. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the horse was a diabetic or something. I don't remember any, but it like
That's funny.
yeah, sugar cubes and stuff.
Yeah.
What's your number?
My
number
very
5?
last get to the point review is my oldest one from the 80s. Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah.
One of the first successful buddy cop dramas. Correct me if I'm wrong. The old dog, young rogue pairing is well casted. So in a time before Mel Gibson was off the rails insane, but Danny Glover was already too old for that shit, they came together to change cop movies forever.
Nice. Well, and you know, mine's kind of comedy-ish, but is definitely marketed more as an action movie. My last one is Walking Tall from 2004. And it's because it's a silly action movie that never spoke so clearly to my teenage self, with Johnny Knoxville buddy copping with The Rock. That was pretty cool.
I just thought he was pretty decent in that movie. I remember
He
remember
was.
watching and being like, oh my god, because I hate Johnny Knoxville. Or at least at the time I hated Johnny Knoxville.
And you know, he was a hero of mine when I was 13.
Well, I know everyone loves Jackass, and I
Yeah.
I never got behind that shit.
You know, it
Me
is.
neither. I thought it was stupid.
No, but
Well, you weren't in the right age group.
yeah, you were definitely weren't.
I'm
in the right
just
age group
too
for it,
old
for
for my
sure.
age.
See, well, and for me, it's Johnny Knoxville and Jackass is responsible. It's why I am sitting here today.
Okay.
And
Well,
when I
thank
was
you.
13,
Thank you,
I
Mr.
picked
Knoxville.
up a camcorder and started doing pranks, basically ding dong ditch with my cousins and filming it with a camera.
That's good. You know, Johnny Knoxville is another frequent listener of ours. So
Oh yeah, I hope so. Uh, but yeah, so the Walking Tall 2004. I guess that one.
I do like that. I that's one of the more inspirational workout montage sequences in modern movies. Like you get them all the time in the 80s,
Right.
but like a lot of the time now you don't really have a lot of it. It's mostly just like let's dress you up. But I guess that's like 20 years old now, isn't it?
Well, Walking Tall, yeah, 2004.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, don't say that. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's just 20 years old almost. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like from that movie, the things that I remember, I also was watching it
Neil McDonough,
over and over again. Yes, yeah.
who I love. He also listens to the podcast.
Yeah. All of all 24 listeners of ours, 21 of them are celebrities.
Yeah.
We don't know. Yeah. So with this one though, like this, I was watching this over and over again. This movie, Walking Tall, at a time when I was involved with politics, and so like at the time, sheriff was to me the most powerful law enforcement figure there was because they had jurisdiction outstanding in their county.
Right.
And so like the fact that he picked up a 2x4, you know what I mean, and that was his weapon of choice rather than a gun, and how he was, the whole vigilante becomes cop thing was really cool.
Yeah.
And winning a court case, no matter how ridiculously over dramatized it was and unrealistic it was.
I mean, it was an MTV movie.
It was
no, it's a WWE movie. Sorry.
WWE. I think WWE and MTV joined forces for that one.
They did?
Maybe, because I can see I can
see
picture either logo at the beginning of that movie.
I'm pretty sure it's a WWE because he was still considered
Well,
hugely considered a wrestler at the time.
Because they
as opposed to an
also
actor.
Neil McDonough's right hand man was a wrestler. At the time too. Yes, and I think I want to say maybe Edge did a cameo in that as like one of the bad guys.
Maybe.
Too. Something. But yeah, so this one was a really easy pick for me. Walking Tall. Not only that, but he started out the movie with the Allman Brothers. Midnight Rider, freaking awesome song. It gets me pumped up every time I hear it. So, all right, Larry. Well, thanks for being on the podcast with us, man. I enjoyed you. I'm definitely gonna be hitting you up about your both your wrestling, you and hopefully getting you and your tag team partner on here. Most likely for season 2 for us to do something to do with wrestling. I'm thinking our favorite movies that had wrestlers. Like basically,
because I've seen a lot more of those than wrestling.
Our favorite WWE, when I think of wrestling movies, the first thing that comes to mind is Ready to Rumble.
I think of that and I think of The Wrestler. Those are the two I think of.
Oh, and The Wrestler. Oh, yeah. Oh, and what was is that the one with Channing Tatum?
No, that's
okay. There's also a wrestling movie with Channing Tatum. Yeah.
The Wrestler had Mickey Rourke and who could forget the scenes with Alicia the girl from
Marissa Tomei.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time she was topless in a film.
I'm gonna have to go watch that for other reasons. For research purposes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Larry, this is the part where we roll out the red carpet for you. You can let our audience know what you've got going on in your life, where they can find you on social media, and what they can look out for you in.
You can follow my wrestling persona, Thar, Thar, Bad Blood, on Facebook. You can find our wrestling company, MCIW, on Facebook, and you can go to www.mciwwrestling.com is our website, and that will tell you where we're going to be wrestling at. That will tell you where we're going to be doing meet and greets at. We're a very family-friendly wrestling organization. We do stuff for churches and schools and all that. And so anybody out there that's got any connections with a school or a church and you're looking to try to raise money, talk to them about doing a wrestling show and contact us. And I'm sure we can work out something to help everybody out. And I'm waiting on somebody named Kelly to start doing some filming stuff.
That asshole.
For some reason, he's kind of disappeared on us outside of being on the video right now. But besides that, acting wise, I'm doing waiting on doing some stuff with Demetrius Witherspoon in his Submerge series, and waiting for Dan Head and BGB Productions to start doing some stuff.
All great local filmmakers, by the way. Demetrius Witherspoon and the Submerge series, that's gotten a lot of great attention now, like especially they have like action figures out and everything for it, right?
Yes.
That's
And
That's
I have done small parts in it, but I have done the iconography for 3 out of the 4 or 4 out of the 5. I don't remember how many, but I've done the fight choreography for that. And my fight choreography, you can always tell because somebody somewhere will be clotheslined.
I guess someone will be clothesline. Classic wrestler move.
Every time.
Every time. And we'll make sure we include links to all of that stuff in the show notes below so you guys can find that. Also, I'm a firm believer that a gentleman wears a watch. Hey, I'm actually wearing it this time.
Yeah.
The art of watchmaking is timeless, boasting science, sophistication, and feats of engineering. Upgrade your gentleman game by checking out the elegant and fashionable collection of watches by Aventino. Aventino watches are simple. Their designs go with everything, and their craftsmanship is of the highest standards. Save 15% on your order with the code HOEN15, all lowercase, and join the Aventino lifestyle. Mine, of course, is from the Gemini series. I really love the band. Like, I'm surprised. I wear a lot of fashion watches, which are incredibly cheap, like $10.
Yeah.
And any of them that I have a metal band, it's faded already.
Right.
And this one's still shines.
Yeah, and I was about to say,
really
it still
love
looks nice. Yeah.
Really, really love it. So
Jealous
definitely
of your
check that
watch.
out. Well, just get one.
I know I need
and
to
use
get
the
one.
promo code.
I've been meaning to
HOEN15.
get one. The promo code?
HOEN15.
HOEN15.
HOEN15,
Okay.
yeah, just so you know.
HOEN15.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. And also, are you looking to start a podcast? Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. With Buzzsprout, you'll get a great looking website, audio players you can drop, detailed analytics, tools to promote, and more. Follow the link in the show notes. Lets Buzzsprout know we sent you. Gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan and help support our show. So let's create something great together with Buzzsprout.
There we go. And that will do it for this episode. Larry, again, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we had a good time. And I'm definitely looking forward to setting up something with the wrestling. I didn't realize that your tag team partner was a female, which makes it even more fun when I say what I would like to do when we do a wrestling podcast is do it live, a live broadcast, preferably, all in person, so that your tag team partner can put me in some wrestling moves for the audience.
Sounds great.
We'll all laugh.
That would be a lot of fun, and we'll all laugh because I'll be in pain and fun. So yeah, we're looking forward to that, and definitely the show that Larry was mentioning before is a show called Bad Blood, where I play his son and he plays my father, and it's basically just about us getting over a drama-filled past and bonding together with amateur wrestling. So hopefully we'll be able to get that together. I'm just one of those, I like to pay everybody.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And so, passion projects. I've been doing this for 10 years. So passion projects are something from 7 years ago. And now I feel like I should be paying everybody. So that's the whole up on that one. But we'll get something going here eventually. Gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I've got one I'd like to talk to you about potentially doing once we're off air.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and or listening. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks, most likely with another guest and with more topics on the Get to the Point Review podcast.
Yep. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. Peace.
Thank you.
Get to the point.